everybody. It's me, Jessica, the Health Fitness Program Manager at Miter & McLean, and I'm going to be guiding you through your 45-minute mind-body connection yoga class today. We're going to get started in 3 minutes, so please create some space for yourself. If you have a block, I recommend bringing it today for a supported glute bridge that we're going to do in the beginning. If you don't happen to have a block, but you have a blanket or a towel that you can even roll the towel up to have something to support you under your back, recommend grabbing it. Need be, you're just going to do the best that you can with whatever you have, and whatever that is always enough. Namaste. Thanks for coming today, you guys. See you on the floor in 2 minutes. We're going to start laying down in Savasana. I will join you there in just a second. Tonight I'm gonna get on the floor. One minute till we get started. I'm just gonna lay down and come into opening Savasana. Actually, I'm just gonna bribe all the pets.
Hi, Mr. Cozy. I love you. Hi, Ladybird. You're a chicken. No, you're a chicken.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yay, thanks for coming today, you guys. All right, welcome to your Friday mind-body connection class. It's been a while since we got started laying down on the floor, but that is where we shall begin today. So come on down onto whatever space that you have created for yourself. Feel free to bring your heels together and allow your toes to fall out to the side. And let's start with our hands on our bellies, just allowing those elbows to hang heavy down towards the floor. Feel free to, as you first get down here on the floor, roll your hips, readjust your shoulders. Take a moment to really just come into the coziest position that you can find, where you truly start to melt into your mat. As you lay here for a couple breaths, just start to take notice of what's happening with your chin, what's happening with the back of your neck. Make sure that you're not bringing your chin too far away from your chest, like you're holding onto a delightfully large, delicious, and juicy grapefruit right underneath of your chin. To get as much of the back of your neck flat on the mat. And close your eyes. Even if you never close your eyes, we're going to start with our eyes closed right now. Come into your breath. Inhaling in through your nose. Taking a moment with those lungs nice and full at the top of your inhale. Before you exhale out through your nose. If nostril breathing only is uncomfortable for you, please just make sure that you're breathing. Feel free to breathe out through your mouth, but do your best to take those inhales in through your nose Just slowing down your breath, cooling down your breath as it approaches your lungs. Breathing through our mouth. This mouth breathing can tend to make our bodies a lot warmer. It's a really great way to create some heat inside. We're going to do some Bikram on Tuesday. We're going to go for an express class, and we'll start that class with warming ourselves up by breathing through the mouth. So just a reminder that if you are starting to feel really warm during class and you happen to be using that mouth to exhale, switch back to nose breathing, to just slowing things down. I know for me, when I first got into yoga about 10 years ago, that the most challenging part was really understanding my breath and understanding how to relax my mind to come more into my breath. Okay, if laying here on the floor is feeling a bit much on your back already, feel free to take a little bending your knees right here. Feel free to use your block or whatever prop, if you brought one, to even place your calves on that prop for a little bit of a supported savasana. We're going to hang out here, just coming into our breath. We're going to take 2 full minutes of silence to start out class. I want you to consider setting an intention for yourself. Maybe it's an intention for this class itself. Maybe it's something that's you've been struggling with lately. How can you clear your mind of that? Where can you send your breath and your mental focus to just feel a little bit better? How can you positively channel your energy either to yourself or just putting that awesome energy out there in the world if you think that there's someone who maybe needs a little bit more of your distanced love. Great job, you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and come into our first posture, our first active posture of the day. Savasana is also a posture. We're going to go for a supported glute bridge. So if you have a block or a towel or any sort of a prop that you have that you can place under your lower back, we're going to use that right now. So go ahead, bring those heels in as close towards the center line as feels comfortable for you. I'm going to open my feet a little bit wider than hips width distance apart to create as stable of a base for myself as I can. Keeping your heels, your big toe, your pinky glued down to the floor. Take a moment, pull that belly button back towards your spine. Engage your lower core. Feel free to use your arms on the floor, back of your arms to inhale, lift yourself up, and then place that prop right underneath of you. I'm placing the prop right at my lower back. So as I lower myself down, my bum is just simply hanging off of the block. And it doesn't really matter how high you are off of the floor. Maybe you don't have any props and you just want to place your hands right underneath of your lower back just to give yourself a little bit more of an arching of the back. And if that doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can just hang out here for a couple more breaths with your knees bent. Okay, if you are using your prop, feel free to have that prop as high off of the ground as you want. You don't have to just go for the flat side of your block. Today I'm going to go for a slightly higher lift, and it's just helping to open up
my front. I'm really feeling like a nice massage right there in my lower back at that super tender spot. So while you're here, make sure that you're not applying too much pressure on the back of your neck, that you didn't lift your hips up so high that you're just applying pressure on the back of your neck. Find some relaxation with your arms wherever feels good for you, maybe down by your side, maybe going for a nice cactus, maybe out to the sides in a T. Notice what's happening with your legs. We don't want them to be coming too far out. If you need to, you can always turn your knees in towards each other for a little bit more support, though. I'm just going to do my best to keep my knees right on top of my heels. Let's take one more minute of silent, focused breath right here. Inhaling in, noticing that lower belly rising. Big full breaths. Exhaling. Lower belly falls. Every exhale, just getting that beautiful little self-myofascial release happening right here. Just pressing that lower back into whatever prop you might be using today. Take 3 more breaths right here. Take another big inhale. And on your exhale, ground those feet, squeeze your core, lift your hips up, remove that prop from underneath of you, and slowly lower yourself down. Take a moment right here, windshield wipe those knees, right and left, right and left. And then we're gonna stay here on our backs, starting into those hips with some reclined bound angle or butterfly. So go ahead, wiggle those feet closer together, bring the soles of your feet together, and allow your knees to fall out heavy towards the side. You might even want to press into the edges of your feet to lift your butt up, lift your shoulders up, re-ground yourself on the mat. And feel free to walk these feet out a little bit further away if having them really close makes you feel like there's absolutely no way you can open those legs to get your outer thighs closer towards the floor. If you're still feeling really far away from the floor, like this is a struggle, use a prop. Place that towel or towels or pillows under your knees on the outside to just gently relax and release right here. Another opportunity to slow down your breath, close your eyes. If your eyes are open, make sure you find that one spot of focus, because if your eyes are moving, your mind is moving. Back to your breath. Start to notice the sounds that you hear in your space. Besides the sound of my voice, what's the closest sound that you can hear? As we come into this next little bout of silence, pay attention to the furthest away sound that you can hear. Awesome stillness. Take a little wiggle of your fingers, maybe rock your hips, your knees side to side. We're going to extend those legs out in front of us. Keeping your left leg straight. Next up, we're going to come into wind removing pose. So go ahead, draw that right leg up and then pull your right leg out away from your rib cage. Reach up if you can grab hold on top of the shin, about 2 inches below your knees. Interlace all 10 of your fingers and then make sure that you don't have your hands, palms clenched. Fingers are relaxed on top of your shin. You're going to roll that left shoulder back towards the mat and then gently pull your right knee in towards your right shoulder. As you're pulling that knee in, also start to press. So you're creating an equal and opposite contraction of pushing into your hands, palms, and pulling on your knee. Stretch your elbows towards your hips. Gently tuck your chin towards your chest. Get as much of your neck and back vertebrae flat on the mat. Flex your toes of your left foot back towards your face to get your left calf on the floor. Pull that belly in tight, press that lower back into the mat. And if your left shoulder rolls off significantly, draw that left shoulder back down towards the mat. As you're pulling on your knee and pressing into your hands, palms, and sucking your stomach in and pushing your lower back into the mat, stretching through your elbows and through the crown of your head. You might even feel a pinching compression sensation in your lower right abdomen. If you do, that's the goal. If you don't, try it again another time. You are giving yourself a little massage on your ascending colon. Change. Relax your grip, release your right leg down, hands come back down towards the floor, come into Savasana for a moment, and then inhale that left leg up, bring it out all the way, avoid your rib cage and grab hold on top of your shin. If you can't grab hold on top of your shin, totally okay to grab hold behind the knee as you need to. All right, and then we're going to roll back on towards the mat, getting that right shoulder down, opening up your chest, pressing those shoulder blades into the mat. Start to pull that knee towards your left armpit. Left shoulder still avoiding that rib cage, just gently out to the side. As you start to pull, begin to press your shin into your hands, palms. Stretch your elbows towards your hips. Flex your right toes back towards your face. Suck that stomach in, press your lower back into the mat. Pulling, pushing, pinching compression sensation, this time in your lower left abdomen, your descending colon. Take one more squeeze, use a deep inhale. And on your exhale, release. Legs go down, arms go down. Let's keep our heads on the mat. Pull that belly in, draw one leg up at a time so that your feet are in tabletop your legs are in tabletop and your feet are side by side. You're gonna reach up and grab whatever you can. Maybe you can grab hold of an individual knee. Maybe you can even reach so far across to grab hold of your opposite elbow or a wrist, whatever you can grab. I want you to then squeeze your knees together towards each other and then in towards your chest. I'm going to grab hold of an individual knee for myself right now. Stretching your shoulders away from your ears, tuck your chin towards your chest like you're looking for a mustard stain down by your belly button. You're giving yourself double, triple chins here. You're pulling those knees in towards your chest and towards each other, but really work to keep that lower back, that sacrum, that area right above the crack in your butt, coming right back down towards the mat. Pull your shoulders away from your ears, stretch the elbows, stretch to the crown of your head. You're working to get as much of your neck and back vertebrae flat on the mat as possible. Eventually, the goal is to have your total spine flat on the mat. Go ahead, take one more nice deep inhale. And on your exhale, release. Kick your legs out. Arms relaxed down by your side. Take another moment right here in your Savasana. All right, let's do a little bit more hip opening and whatnot down here on the floor, and then we will get up off of our backs. Great. Great. So once again, I want you to draw that right leg up towards your chest. We're going to come into a reclined pigeon this time. So you can still pull that knee out towards the side just a little bit with your right hand on the outside of the right knee. Walk your left hand fingertips down and reach towards the outside of the foot. You might have to lift yourself up to grab hold of the outside of the foot, and that's totally okay. Just find what you can today, whatever reach you can. And once you're holding on to the right foot with your left hand, you're going to exhale, use your breath, and work to bring your heel or your big toes a little closer towards that left shoulder. See how much you can open your chest. Use your breath to relax and release those shoulder blades back towards the mat, and take that gentle tuck of your chin towards your chest. No super stretching of that chin towards the ceiling. Still working to keep as much of our back flat. Take a slight engagement of your belly. If this is an uncomfortable hold for you, feel free to reach your hands in and just bring your hands palms to the outside of your right shin / calf, and just do your best to draw that in towards your chest. We've only got 2 more breaths right here. And let's go for a half happy baby. So take your right hand, maybe the pointer and middle fingers, if you can grab hold of your big toe, if you can grab out of the outside of your foot, if you need to just grab hold by your ankle, we're just gonna open this leg out so the sole of the right foot faces the ceiling and the right knee comes a little bit closer towards your chest, towards your right armpit. And you can stay here with your knee bent in a little half happy baby, or if you want a bigger stretch along your hamstring, go ahead, kick that right heel out, even allowing that right leg to fall as heavy over towards the side as feels comfortable for you. Remember, you do have the option to just keep hanging out in that half happy baby, maybe stretching your left arm out towards the side to keep that left shoulder down on the mat for 3, 2, 1. Gently bring it all in. Relax and release. Kick that right leg out in front of you. Take a moment, bob your knees, windshield wipe your feet. Stretch your arms out into a T. Bend those knees up. Both knees point up towards the ceiling, and we're going to drop our knees over towards the left side of the mat. Coming into a little spine twist right here. As you're ready, turn your chin towards your right shoulder. If you want to make this twist a little deeper like we did the other day, think about extending that right leg out, maybe even reaching your right leg up towards your left hand fingertips. Oh my gosh. And then relax and release. Notice if you're squeezing that chest and upper body. You don't have to keep that right leg straight if it was too much for you. Relax your eye gaze and focus, and take 2 more breaths right here. And on your exhale, roll back up to center. Go ahead, straighten that right leg out in front of you and continue to draw that left knee in towards your chest. We're going to come back into that reclined pigeon. So taking your left hand palm on the outside of your left knee, draw that knee a little closer towards your chest, reach up, grab hold of your right foot or your right ankle or whatever you can hold. Remember, you have the option to bring your hands to the outside of where your shin and your calf are coming, just to work to bring that inside of your lower left leg a little closer towards your chest, just taking whatever grip works for you. Using your breath to exhale, allowing those shoulders to start to come a little closer towards the mat. Feel free to close your eyes, pull that belly in, keep that lower back in contact with the mat. Find some relaxation right here. Back to your breath. half happy baby. So reach up with that left hand, grab hold of your left foot. However feels good for you. Feel free to extend that right arm out towards the side, starting in this happy baby, doing your best to get that sole of the foot to face up towards the ceiling. Remember, you have the option to straighten that left leg out. Oof, that does not work for me on this side. So just finding what feels good or what you can hold for today. Remember, so normal for things to not be equal on both sides. I'm willing to put money on the idea that when you're standing, you tend to put more weight in one leg, or you frequently cross one leg on top of the other. Last 3 breaths right here. As you're ready, slowly bring that left leg back in. Go ahead, kick that left leg out in front of you. I lied. Bend your knees. Bend both of your knees. Stretch your arms out to the side, and this time allow your knees to fall heavy over towards the right side, coming into a nice, gentle on the floor spine twist. As you're ready, turning your chin towards your left shoulder, and remember, option to straighten that right leg out. Just create as big of a stretch as feels good for you today. I'm going to bring it back in. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. Sometimes I go to other people's classes and I spend half the class in child's pose. Like, whatever. Remember, only you know what is best for your body. So feel free to just like explore, like dancing. Think of yoga like dancing and just finding the movement that's right for you. All right, take one more nice deep inhale. On your exhale, roll back towards your back, and this time kick those legs out in front of you. Let's open our feet a little bit wider. And let's bring those arms up overhead. I can't quite bring my arms up overhead, but work to bring your biceps by your ears. All right, we're going to do a little bit of a roll up right here. Let me just turn this way. All right, we're going to work to do a roll up. So keeping your biceps by your ears, you're going to open your feet a little bit wider and press your heels into the floor. The more that you flex your toes back towards your face, the easier it's going to be to keep those heels grounded. If you don't have a lot of ab strength in those lower abs, you're probably going to find it pretty challenging to inhale and use your breath and lift yourself all the way up. So if that's you, feel free to take a little bit of a bend in your knees, still pressing those heels into the floor. And here is the movement. So keeping those biceps by your ears, you're going to inhale as you lift yourself up slowly as you get to the top. Exhale. Keeping the C curve in your spine, just reaching towards your fingertips. And then once again, changing your breath. Inhale. We're going to slowly round down, one vertebrae at a time, and halfway through, you're going to begin your exhale, bringing those arms back up overhead. Let's do 4 more. So inhale, lower back presses into the mat. Exhale, chin tucked towards your chest, shoulders stacked on top of hips. Reach. Inhale down. As slow as you can go, work to keep those heels grounded, and exhale, arms come up overhead. Inhale up, belly tight, lower back press down. Exhale, reach, suck that stomach in. Inhale down. Exhale, arms come up overhead. Last 2. Inhale up. Exhale, reach. Inhale down. Exhale, arms come up overhead. Last one, we're going to stay up this time. Inhale up. Exhale, reach. Awesome.
Relax those arms down. Great. Yay, 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 yay. Let's go ahead and take a seated position. Let's come into easy pose. So just come into some sort of upright position, whatever feels best for you. If you need to put that block or prop underneath of your sit bones to help allow those knees to hang heavy down towards the floor, please, absolutely, I encourage you. When you get here, shake it out for a second. Just shake out the whole week. Anything that was weird. Enjoy smiling to anything that was awesome. All right. All those spilkies are gone. Coming back into our stillness. Take a moment, ground those sit bones. Pull that belly in nice and tight. Stack your shoulders on top of your hips. Feel free to bring your hands either to your knees to help you stack your head on top of your heart, or maybe relaxing your fingertips right here by your hips. See if you can straighten those arms out. All right, with those arms nice and straight, ideally draped over your thighs or your knees somewhere, we're gonna use our breath to inhale, find some lift of your eyes, nose, chin. Squeeze those shoulder blades together a little as you lift. Exhale, keeping that chest open, tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale up. As large of a range of motion that feels good for you, and it might be very small. Exhale down. Some days I can relax my head back so much, inhale up, that I even feel the bones touching each other. And you know what? It doesn't feel good. So I stopped doing that. Some days I can barely just glance my eyes up towards the ceiling. But I'm sure we all want the days where we can get that nice full range of motion. One more time. Inhale up. Bring that straightness back to your arms. I know mine bent. Exhale down. Good. Now feel free to relax those arms. Awesome. We're going to draw those elbows back gently, squeezing those elbows together. Take a moment, lift those hands, palms up, just facing up towards the ceiling, but right now still relaxing on your thighs with those elbows, just elbows squeezing back, maybe gently together. And now let's create a little bit of warmth. So lift your hands off of your thighs and just gently pulse it back, squeeze it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax those hands back down. Give yourself some nice rolls with those shoulders. Oh, I hear so much crunching, cracking. If you do too, totally normal. Go ahead, change direction of those shoulder circles. Feel free to separate it out if you want to get a little deeper. Oh my gosh, into your back. Wow. Great. Go ahead, bring your right hand fingertips by the floor. Either right hand fingertips or maybe even walking that right hand away, getting your forearm down towards the mat. We're just gonna lift that left arm up and over, reach through your fingers on your inhale. And exhale, you're gonna draw that elbow back, lift yourself up. Inhale, reach out, stretch out. Exhale, lift yourself up, straighten up, elbow comes towards hip. Inhale, reach up, stretch out. Each stretch, hopefully a little bigger. Exhale, lift. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, stretch it back down. Last one. Inhale, reach. Let's hang out in this reach. Turn your chin up towards that left shoulder. Turn your chin down towards your right shoulder. Turn your chin back to neutral. And exhale, lift yourself up. Beautiful. Left hand fingertips come to the floor. Get ready to walk them away from you as you inhale. That left arm up overhead. Just take a moment right here. We're going to reach for just a second. Grounding those right sit bones into the floor. Find that
big, beautiful starter stretch. Inhale, reach. And exhale, press into your left hand gently as you lift yourself up. Draw that elbow down and back. Inhale, reach. Once again, just finding the range of motion that feels good for you. Oh, wow. Exhale, pull. 4 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Last 2. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. Get ready to hold into our stretch this last time. Inhale and reach. Find that length through your fingertips. Turn your chin towards your right shoulder. Take 2 breaths right here. Make sure that right sit bone is as grounded as can be. On your exhale, turn your chin to your left shoulder. Head back to center. 1 more deep inhale. And exhale, lift yourself up. Great. Let's walk ourselves forward. As far as feels good for you today. Finding where you need the stretch. If you're still feeling really tense in that upper mid-back area, tucking your chin towards your chest, pressing your hands, palms into the floor will really create a big stretch on that upper back. If you need a stretch in that lower back, bringing your chin away from your chest, hanging out a little bit more, and cow right here. Feel free to try both. Feel free to even press into the floor. Enjoy a little bit of cat-cow right here on the floor. Oh my gosh. And then pick the one that feels best for you today. Let's hang out here for a couple breaths. Feel free to melt that chest down towards the floor as much as you can while still having your sit bones grounded. You might even want to use your prop, placing your head on the prop, even if you go for the long side of the block. Whatever feels good for you. If you want to open those shoulders a little bit more, turn your hands, palms up towards the ceiling and turn those thumbs out towards the side, getting a nice little stretch on your forearms as well. Nice. And pick your head up, walk your hands as far over to the right as you can for today while still pressing that left sit bone down into the mat. Really actively stretch through that left side and create as big of a stretch you can from that left hip all the way up towards your armpit. The more that you press your left hand palm into the floor, the more you're going to start to bring that upper arm into the stretch as well. I'm looking down towards my knee. I'm even looking towards my left knee to bring a little bit of an extra stretch here. I still have my stomach sucked in. My belly is super engaged here because we're hinging forward. Anytime you hinge forward, you always want to engage your abdominal cord to protect your back. Take 1 more deep inhale. And on your exhale, walk yourself over. And we did get to do a little bit of lower ab work today. Start to press that right sit bone down into the mat. Pressing that right sit bone down and stretching your right shoulder up. As your left shoulder comes down, it's going to increase the stretch all the way from your hips up through your right shoulder. Oh my gosh, it feels so, so good right now. Turning my chin towards that right knee, just trying the same thing on one side as I did on the other, but knowing that it might not feel as great, and you might need to take a modification, and then it's totally great. Go ahead, take 1 more deep inhale. On your exhale, turn your chin towards your chest. Walk your hands, palms back towards the center. Walk your hands back up towards your hips. Go ahead, kick those legs out in front of you. Ah, so good. Bob your knees, windshield wipe your feet, right and left, right and left. Awesome. And then I want you to bend your knees. And once again, windshield wipe your feet. Just going to come into one more little stretch for the sides of our legs. I don't know about you guys, but holy moly, my legs are so sore lately. Week 6, finishing up week 6 of this 5K training. All right, allow those knees to fall heavy over towards the side as you just come into some sort of a deer pose. You can keep your hands back behind you. You can stay as relaxed here as you want. Whichever direction your knees dropped into. I drop my knees over towards the left side, and I'm really focusing on the stretch that's happening in my right leg right now as I work to bring the inside of my right thigh and knee down towards the mat. And it might feel enough for you all the way back here, and if you want to feel it even more, lift yourself up. Walk your hands, palms in even closer. An option to find a little bit more of a twist right here if you want it. Find some length through the crown of your head once more. Awesome. Walk your hands back once again. Come back into that windshield wiping of your knees. Oh, crackety crack, crack, crack. Feel free to walk your feet further out in front of you. Oh my. Just experiment. Oh, find that stretch for you today. Get ready to drop your knees over to the opposite side. Just start by dropping your knees towards the opposite side. Readjust your feet however you want to. Come into this stretch. Find what feels good. Totally okay if your knees aren't as flat down towards the mat as mine. My hips are like real open. But guess what? Something else on me is not real open. And that's just the way it is. If you want to walk yourself up, we're really focusing on getting as much of whichever the back leg is. That inner thigh towards the floor. Option to come into a twist once again. Finding your lifted length. Oh my gosh. This feels so good on my upper back, mid back. Take one more nice deep inhale. And on your exhale, walk those hands back one more time. Windshield wipe those feet. Got one more upright position, and then we'll just come into final Savasana. We've already done it once today. It's butterfly. One last time with butterfly to open up those hips. So again, you can feel free to keep your hands behind you as you just work to open those knees out wide. If you want to feel the stretch even more, starting to walk your hands in front of you. Remember, you can walk your glute back. You can walk your feet forward. I know the other day we tried zipper toes option if you want to work on zippering up those toes right here in your butterfly, or you can also just grab hold of your feet. Maybe you have your hands on your knees, just working to actively press those knees down. The more that you hinge forward, the more you're going to really feel the stretch opening up in your hips, in your hip flexor. So just find what feels good for you today. Feel free to use those elbows. Feel free to use those props under your thighs. I'm going to use my feet like a bowl, and I'm going to bring my head to the bowl. Slowly, gently lift yourself up out of your butterfly. Bring your hands behind you. One vertebrae at a time. Slowly relax and release yourself down. Coming into your final Savasana, you can hang out right there in that reclined bound angle, or feel free to kick your legs out. Final Savasana, so open your legs as wide as you want. Take that little bend of your knees if you need to. If your back is still hurting, bring those knees together. Take some pressure off of that lower back. Arms can come out towards the side. You just gotta do what's right for you. Just taking a bend in your knees can help to relieve the pressure of your lower back while here on the floor. Once again, I encourage you to close your eyes, to take your focus inside of yourself, in your breath, as you take a moment to scan your body from head to toe and notice where things might still feel a little tense, and just shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. Come into that stillness. See if you can slow your breath down even more. Every inhale, a little bit longer. Every exhale, longer than your inhale. Gently flutter your eyes open. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Find your way back to that awesome seated position. Draw your knees in towards your chest. You can either rock like a ball, like an egg, or press yourself over to the side. And just come into whatever seated position feels right for you today. Go ahead, once you get there, bring your hands palms to the center of your chest. Push those hands palms together. Thumbs touching on your sternum, and namaskar. Take a moment to honor yourself. Tuck your chin to your chest. One more moment in your mindfulness while you actively thank yourself for making this time for you. I am so appreciative of you coming and sharing your energy, not just with me, but with each other. If you guys have any questions or concerns about anything that we've done today, I hope that you'll reach out. I can't wait to see you guys all again soon. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Yay! Yay! Happy Friday, everyone. I hope everyone has a super beautiful weekend. Thank you guys so much for coming.